All right, and welcome to question 7. Factorize and solve the following. So the first things first, before we can solve any of these, we have to factorize them. So first things first, looking at this one here, I'm looking for two numbers that add to -1, but multiply to -30. Because I have a minus here and a minus here, I'm looking for one positive number and one negative number. So two numbers that add to -1 and multiply to -30. And the two numbers that I can think of straight away are -6 and +5, because -6 plus 5 is -1, and -6 times 5 is -30. So what that will then do is I can then instantly go and factorize it to 0 equals x minus 6, x plus 5. And then using NFL, the null factor law, I can get x equals 6 or x equals -5. And if I put either of those into that equation there, it will come out as being nice and neat and perfect. All right, because 6 squared is 36, minus 6 is 30, minus 30 is 0. Minus 5 squared is 25, minus 5 is 30, 30 minus 30 is 0. All right, that gets you both answers. Now, looking at this next one, we have a number minus a square. All right, when it's something like this, it's generally a good sign that what we are looking at here is an a squared minus b squared, which then factorizes to a plus b, a minus b. And in this case here, the square root of 9 happens to be 3. So what we're looking for is a is equal to 3 and b is equal to x. Put those into here and we get 3 plus x and 3 minus x equals 0, of course. Haven't forgot about that. So for null factor law, x is going to be equal to -3 or 3. All right, and last one down the bottom, x squared plus 4x minus 6. So think of two numbers. Can we think of two numbers that multiply to make -6, but add to give 4? All right, and I don't think that I can come up with a number like that. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to complete the square. I know. All right, so to remember, to do that, we need to take the coefficient of the x in the middle, half it and square it. And then plus and minus it. That means we can put a bracket around this, and that will create x plus 2 squared minus 4 minus 6. 0 equals x plus 2 squared minus 10. And if you think about it, this is simply the square root of 10 squared. I now have a square minus another square, which means that I can use up here, this pattern up here, to then factorize it to x plus 2 plus the square root of 10 and x plus 2 minus the square root of 10. And then null factor law from here, x is going to have to be equal to -2 minus root 10 or -2 plus root 10. All right, some people will write it out as being x equals -2 plus minus root 10, because the same way of representing the same information. All right, so this one here was the tricky one because it involved completing the square. All right, and I will see you for question 8.